Hey, what's up guys? So today we are going to be taking a look at a new card that Konami is hyping up like crazy, Lightsworn Sanctuary. Let's go ahead and read its effect, then I'm going to have a little discussion and kind of talk about the card. So, it's a continuous spell card that says, once per turn you can send one Lightsworn monster from your hand to the graveyard, then target one other Lightsworn monster in your graveyard, add it to your hand. Each time a card or cards is sent from the deck to the graveyard, plus one shine counter on this card. If a Lightsworn card or cards you control would be destroyed by a card effect, you can remove 2 shine counters from your side of the field for each of those Lightsworn cards instead. So, what's interesting with this is it doesn't have to actually protect a Lightsworn monster, which I thought, oh well, what other Lightsworn cards are there? Well, there's Lightsworn Barrier and there's also Lightsworn Saber, which, you know, no one really plays. But there's also Glorious Illusion, which is not actually a Lightsworn card, but it brings back a Lightsworn monster anyways, because I figured it was something to mention. But before we get into that, I think this is something maybe that might have been an error on Konami's part, is it says there's 4 new cards, 2 tuners, 1 synchro monster, and the world premiere spell card Lightsworn Sanctuary. Now, if you guys didn't know, the tuners that are coming out for Lightsworn, they are the Lightsworn Maiden, there's the Lightsworn Archer, and Raiden from Metal Gear. We have 3 tuners coming out for Lightsworn, but it mentioned that there were 2. So I don't know if that means we're not getting one of these, because the Lightsworn Maiden would be excellent for the field spell, although I feel like this field spell is kind of way overhyped, and I don't think it's that great. Another thing that I wanted to mention is, will that card actually protect Michael, the Arc Lightsworn? Because I don't think this card counts as a Lightsworn monster, and you guys might be wondering, why the heck not, Azneyes? What are you, stupid? Why can't you read? Well, on DevPro, this card does not actually count, and a lot of other people have mentioned when I was doing this on DevPro that this card does not count as a Lightsworn monster, and I don't know why. It says, you know, Lightsworn in its name, and X-Saber and double X-Saber count as the same, because maybe it's Arc-Lightsworn. I don't know what the exact problem is, but for whatever reason, if that changes in the future, if his name is just Michael the Lightsworn, not just Michael the Arc, maybe that will be his name. He's definitely riding a Judgment Dragon in there, but this card is definitely going to be making the deck so much better. But I feel like, what are we not getting? Because if we don't get Raiden, I feel like that's one of their best cards, and I feel like if we don't get Raiden, that will kind of suck. But if we don't get Maiden, that also kind of sucks, and Felice just sacks people all day. Not only can you mill multiple Felices and just keep on getting cards and mill more, it becomes out of control. With Sanctuary, you can actually get just so many cards in the graveyard. But at the same time, what if you mill this card? They were talking about how Lightsworn has consistency issues, and it's like, well, you know, that's not going to exactly help them with consistency issues. It will kind of help them in one sense, because you can get rid of, like, Felice or Wolf, or, like, you know, the cards that you don't really want to draw. Like, even the Lightsworn Maiden, I would argue it's not the greatest card to draw anyways. It lets you add back, you know, your other Lightsworn monsters, which would be, what, Lumina, basically, to make this same play that you go for, which is Lumina into Raiden, into basically make this card, and you get to also mill 2 cards with Raiden during that process. But I feel like this card, since it can't be like activated when it's milled, I feel like if they had that effect, then this card would be on some next level meta stuff. But I like how it can kind of protect itself, but I mean, you gotta get 2 shrine counters, and most of the time, if you're playing against a meta deck, you only get, like, you know, 1, you know, Lightsworn out per turn, unless you're going for Lumina. And are you going to go Lumina into, I mean, like, the best play you would have is maybe Lumina into Raiden, and then maybe you mill, like, a Maiden, and then you can maybe get a few counters on it. But the thing is, it only protects the monsters from being destroyed by a card effect. Most of the time, if you guys have played Lightsworn, the way to get rid of your monsters is usually by battle. I know you have Necroguard to technically protect yourself, but the thing is, the Lightsworn monsters don't protect themselves from battle. Like, they always die. They're always really weak. I know Wolf is strong, but you can't normal summon Wolf. I mean, Raiden can be 1900, but for the most part, for the first turn, I mean, maybe a Lila, maybe, I wouldn't like open Lumina end turn. It's usually like Lila end turn, Raiden activate effect end turn, hopefully you can mill some stuff off of it. But the thing is, I feel like the monsters are still too weak as far as being able to make this viable. If this card effect said that they couldn't be destroyed by battle or by card effect, and you can just remove 2 of the counters, then you know, kind of have a really good card over there. But I feel like it's not like even like a Foolish, well, it says after resolving Foolish Bro. It's not really like Foolish Burrowing, because I feel like the problem with this card is I would rather just play Monster Incarnation. They talk about how it's halfway Monster Incarnation, halfway Defender, the Magical Knight, which I've never even heard of. But anyways, it's not that great of a card, and I feel like they're really overhyping this. But what this can hint towards, guys, is that Lightsworn will not be getting hit, and I didn't think it was going to get hit at all. I mean, heck, even if they bump Judgment Dragon down to 2, the deck is still very viable. You can just run Monster Reincarnations, add them back anyways. And they were talking about how Fire and Ice Hand to kind of, you know, blow up everything. I don't know if they mentioned that. It's in like one of the first paragraphs if you want to read it. They talk about how certain decks can just like get rid of everything that you have, like Fire and Ice Hand. And it's like, well, now you have a target for Ice Hand to actually pop, because when you usually play Lightsworn, you usually do not have back row, therefore you can just be like, oh, you know what, I'm not going to have any back row, therefore Ice Hand can't, you know, pop something, therefore it can't get out something else. So I feel like, you know, this is just like bad in a sense, because it gives Ice Hand a target to pop, and then they're just going to get something out anyways. But nonetheless, I think it's a cool artwork looking card. I will probably cut it out and glue it onto something because I like how it looks. It looks pretty cool. I think Lightsworn have the coolest artwork. I think Celestia looks cool, but we're going to talk about its effect, so not to go off topic, how do you guys think we can actually use this card? You guys think this card's a joke? Because for me, I don't think it's like an absolute joke. I mean, it's better than that, like, you know, that Noble Knight card that wasn't a secret rare, but I feel like this card is just not there. It doesn't really feel like it's going to be something that's going to make Lightsworns even better. They're already pretty good, I would say, as is, because Judgment Dragon is still one of the best cards, and what's hilarious is at the end of this is, oh, I really wanted to mention this real quick too. It only protects Lightsworn monsters. If it protects this, hey, it's not too bad. But the thing is, the best card in the entire deck of Lightsworn is Judgment Dragon anyways, which this card can't protect. So it's like, you can't protect the best card you're going for. It'd be like if Bujin's got support that say, oh, you know, you can't control a Beast Warrior to use this card. It's like, well, there goes the point of that you know, card anyways. It feels like it's semi-counterproductive in one aspect, but I feel like if it could protect the monster from being destroyed by battle, then I'd be like, hey, you know what, that's really good, because the next turn I can still continuously get my mill on, and I can actually, you know, add whatever I want to add back. But it can't do that, and it makes Celestia just out of control. I feel like that was good, because if it had that effect, it'd just be a little bit too good. I feel like if this card was milled, if it had some effect where it's like, if this card is milled, you gain 100, like, well, if this card was milled, you gain, like, I don't know, 200 life points or something, just something, you know, just to acknowledge that this card will be sent to the graveyard, and it will do nothing, and you're not going to add this card back anyways. At least that's the way I see it. But the thing is, the added that was kind of funny is, about the only thing Lightsworn Sanctuary won't do is help you retrieve and force Judgment Dragons onto the field, which is totally fine because Judgment Dragon doesn't need any help to do its thing. But it can technically still stay on the field after you blow up the field. With Judgment Dragon, you just have to remove 2 counters from it, you know, itself. But I feel like, again, it just doesn't really help the deck to the point where I think it's going to make it on the next level. It's not going to be on Shadal's levels, basically what I'm saying. But if you guys know how to combo with this card, hey, definitely let me know, because I would love to know how we can combo this card, maybe break it, but it is a once per turn, because I feel like if you can activate its effect multiple turns, you can maiden for days, then you could probably open up some type of loop. But yeah, that first sentence right there just says once per turn, so good luck trying to do that. But maybe we can figure something out anyway. Just to say forget it, we're going to break this card anyways. But let me know if you can break this card, if you think the card is good, and what combinations you can use this with. I think it's only for Lightsworn. I don't think like a Chaosy deck would technically work too well. I mean, you can dump one Lightsworn, but it's not letting you add any monster. If it allowed you to add any monster by dumping a Lightsworn, that'd be onto some next level stuff, but it's not that in my opinion. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Let me know your thoughts down below. Azneyes out.